Lady Vivian, some kind of maniac.
Here, vanished, melted into thin air. And that bird, she a Bruxa? Flew off, worth going after. Like the bird's leading me somewhere. Damn, you're ugly. Bird flew off over the hill. Might be quicker to pass through the cave.
Witcher.
Lady Vivian? Counted on me getting lost.
I did. I thought you no different from the knights. Good at tourneys, hopeless in the face of true danger. I was mistaken.
So you're not actually a Bruxa?
A what?
Suspicion I had that you might be a vampire. Certain details seemed to confirm it. Then I changed my mind. Anyway, unimportant. Hear you come to this clearing often.
This is where it all began. And as I was not able to evade you, save myself from you, then I want it done here. In this very spot. With no witnesses.
Want what done?
Why, you are a witcher. You were hired to kill me, were you not? Then do so, now. And do it quickly, I beg you. I shan't resist.
Witchers only hunt monsters. And even then, not all. You're no monster.
Then what am I to your eyes?
Most likely you've been cursed. Don't know who by or why yet, but hope to find that out soon.
If you've no contract on my life, why take an interest at all? Did Guillaume put you up to it? Is that why?
He wanted to help you. Asked me to do him a favor. Frankly, if I can do something for you, I'll do it, willingly.
Why should I trust you?
'Cause the Duchess trusts me? 'Cause I'm a freak, too? 'Cause cases like yours are my bread and butter. Take your pick.
You shall not turn on me. Use what I say against me. You shall not tell anyone?
You got nothing to fear. Came here to help you.
So be it. I shall tell you what my mama once told me. When she was with child, expecting me, she and my father spent much time together near the wood, here in this clearing. Mama loved to listen to the orioles sing. She would stroke her belly and say, "My daughter should be as beautiful as that bird. Such is my wish." But a creature dwelt in the wood who envied my parents their happiness. One day it appeared before them to say the whole wood belonged to it, and they had dared to delight in something that was not theirs. It demanded payment, and when my parents said that they had nothing, it claimed their unborn daughter as its own.
Parents ever describe the creature?
They called it a nymph born of the deep woods, with no mother or father. But I was too young, too distraught by the curse's onset to ask after details.
What happened after that?
Nothing at first. I came into the world a perfectly normal child, and my parents forgot that day's events. But 15 summers into my life, the curse began to show. Initially only when the moon was full. But now it's advanced so that even in daytime I must use magic ointment to mask its symptoms, to look normal. Thus I thought someone had discovered my secret, then hired you to kill me. In fact, I was resigned to death in coming here. Perhaps death would be preferable to my complete and permanent transformation. For I fear that is what lies in store.
Ointment you use includes a potent magic ingredient. You don't have the immunity mages have. Use heavy doses, or normal doses too long, and it could be dangerous to you.
I sensed this. The very reason I knew I would have to give it up in the end, and bid my human form a final farewell.
The curse. It could be reversible. Once ran into a baron transformed into a cormorant, ostensibly for good. Managed to cure him completely.
And you truly think you could do something like this for me?
Can't guarantee a thing. Tough case, yours. You were cursed before birth. That alone complicates things. Also, you claim the curse is increasing its hold. Symptoms are progressing. Could try transferring the curse onto someone else.
What? Out of the question. I shall not allow it to ruin an innocent's life. Is this the only method you know?
Only one that's completely safe.
So there is another.
All right. There is another. Ancient ritual. We'd need an Oriole egg. Should release the curse's grip permanently. Gotta warn you, though. Could have serious consequences.
Consequences? What kind?
Curse was cast before you came into this world. Ritual involved transferring it to an as-yet unhatched chick. You'd be free. Thing is, you could be left with the average lifespan of an Oriole.
7 years. I understand. Alas, every rose has its thorn, and there are no happy endings. Yet, truth be told, I never thought I would get one. I came here prepared to die, yet you wish to give me 7 years of life. Real life, free life. This is no dilemma. I agree, wholeheartedly.
I see why. I understand. Don't have to decide just yet. Think it through.
I will. They must miss me at the tourney grounds by now. Shall we return?
Let's. But are you gonna...
Yes. I cannot appear there all in feathers. Pardon me for a moment.
You can change at will?
No, but I discovered the water of this pool helps. Its effects are brief, but I can always be sure of them.
Interesting.
Come.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
Then speak, man. Can you not see I'm out of my mind with worry? What ails her?
She asked me not to talk about it.
But I want only the best for her. Perhaps I shall be able to help or, I don't know, console her at the least. Anyone. Why, I would do anything for her. I was the one to ask you to help her. You cannot shut me out now.
I'm sorry. Look, in time Vivian will come to understand what she owes you. I'm sure of it. But until then, you gotta understand the whole world doesn't revolve around you.
How dare you lecture me? This is not the aid I sought. And to think I gave up my spot in the tourney to you. I regret it now. Do you even intend to compete to the end? Or now that you've bound Vivian to your terms, you no longer see the need?
I don't back out of anything. I'll take part in the last skirmish. Besides, Vivian will be busy till the tourney's end.
Indeed. In that case, you must meet the other knights of your team. They await near the arena's entrance, by the training ground.
Got it. Thanks.
I know now the two teams' rosters. I shall be captain of ours. That means you shall do as I say for the duration of the fight. Is this clear? Palmer and Alonso will lead the opposing team. With this skirmish, we commemorate the Battle of Fox Hollow of 1218, when a Hans of Southern outlaws led by Haller the Brown attacked Tucson only to be driven off by brave knights, thus setting a precedent. Since that day, knights errant have guarded the duchy's borders. Palmerin drew the short straw, so his team shall play the barbarian Haller's men. Any questions?
None.
I doubt you'll do us any good. You know nothing of knightly combat as a witcher. Try at least to stay out of our way.
It is time, gentlemen. Take your weapons and proceed to the arena.
A cheer for the knights, the ladies, the lords. For our next entertainment, the team shall cross swords. 2 rifle crews, 2 coteries shall fight full tilt till one drops to its knees. Who virtue ignores or lance blows unclean shall forever be branded as shameful, obscene. While the knights prepare, let me say I'm elated to behold such a crowd on edge, breath-baited. Whoever here wins the past champion shall face. All others must leave, heads bowed in disgrace. Let us begin! Crowd, race a ruckus! Blood, sweat and tears shall soon follow in buckets.
I shall never retreat, not while
You shall finish!
beat it out of you.
Alone Geralt stands, alone he fights on, but inside does he weep for those who have gone. Pathetic. Cut! Slice! Smash! The world's never seen a fight quite so glorious. For showing such verve, each knight was victorious. Yet in tourneys as in life, but one champion may reign. Today he is the one, praised be his name. He felt a whole host, slew the most. To Geralt of Rivia, who the strength of lions boasts, he sailed through all trials, each test he passed with ease. But now awaits the last. Will it bring him to his knees? For Gregoire de Gorgon, who on this ground's last won, shall spar him for the title, and the day is done. To the tired remainder, we salute your endeavors. Return to your wives, your loves, your whomevers. It is time. Step into the arena. Should you suffer grievous harm during combat, have you any last wishes? Any missives you wish passed to your loved ones?
Thanks, I'm fine.
The Witcher of Rifia, Geralt his name. Though aged be his visage, do not disdain. His locks, true, are white, but he was born to fight. Now entering the grounds, a titan of infamy, Gregoire de Gorgon, victor of Lastis Tourney.
I wish both combatants good fortune.
The crown, the Titan's loft stairs, ferocious and spry as wolves hunting hares. Mesdames et messieurs, our victor, our champion, the unequaled and silent Gregoire de Gorgon! Hip, hip, hooray! I should take this opportunity to remind all that today's tourney is brought to you by the Vermentino and Coronado Vineyards. Remember, Vermentino and Coronado Vineyards. Geralt of Rifia! This year's champion! A sight to behold! He defeated Gregoire de Gorgon! Hail Geralt! Herald! Herald! Herald!
As patron of this grand tourney, I've the honor to decorate our grand champion. His vow he made upon his love for his heart's captor, and it was doubtless this vow that carried him to this splendid victory. He showed great courage, great strength, great composure. He fought nobly with honor, and thus rightfully deserves the title of this year's Champion of the Arena.
I need to talk to you.
Not now. We shall meet later in my tent. I have duties to attend to, as do you. Folk regard you. The least you should do is wave.
Greetings, my lady. Have you decided?
I have. I stand by all I have said. I wish to endanger no one, and thus choose the method involving an egg. If it's to be the egg of an oriole, I know where to find one. There is a nest in my clearing. Might you explain the nature of the ritual? Its exact course?
Sure, but seems your tense grown ears. Show yourself, Guillaume. Can hear you breathing, and I know damn well it's you.
Why are you here, sir? This is a private audience. Geralt, what is the meaning of this? Is this some scheme you've hatched unbeknownst to me?
Guillaume's no foe. Though there's little honor in meddling, he meant well, means well. You guessed correctly. He was the one to hire me, but only because he wanted to help you.
My lady, I live to serve you. Whatsoever you require, you need but beckon. I am yours to command.
Are you quite finished? Is that all you wish to say?
I suppose so.
So you shall do what I command, sir. Very well, then. Listen carefully. Leave this tent, turn towards the duchy's northern marches, and run. Run until the tourney grounds are no longer within sight. Return only once you've cooled off. Then leave me be forevermore. Understood?
My lady, but your troubles. I only wish the Witchers see...
Out now! You assured me I could trust you!
I kept your secret. Didn't tell him anything he didn't already know.
I understand he hired you, so you had to report to him. But this is not his affair, Geralt. This is my life.
Absolutely sure you did the right thing? Not too hasty rejecting his help? Can't conduct the ritual using your reflection without him. Needed someone who'd willingly assume the curse in your stead.
And you thought I would agree to this? No, Geralt! When we spoke in the meadow, you told me of a ritual which required no lusty knights to aid us. This is the method I wish to pursue.
Need to find an egg. Preferably an Oriole's. Ritual itself isn't complicated, but like I said before, there'll be a side effect. Still sure you want to go through with it?
Yes. I saw a nest in the clearing where we spoke. But before we go, tell me, what will become of the chick?
We'll have to break the egg. Like you said, not everyone gets a happy ending.
And for a dream to come true, there must be sacrifices. Very well. Let us go. This is the place. Oh no! A panther's got at the nest!
Stand back. I'll take care of this. Eggs fell on a moss patch. They're fine except for one. It's cracked.
Will it do?
Think so.
Now what must I do?
Just to be sure, gonna ask one last time. Positive you want to do this? If we succeed, the changes will be irreversible. You'll probably also only have 7 years left to live, at the most.
7 years free of the fear that someone might spy me at the wrong moment? Of the stigma of being a freak, a monster? 7 years of a life both true and unfettered. Yes, Geralt. I'm certain I wish to do it.
All right. Drau, Muna Finerat.
Muna Gandrau, Muna Finerat. Muna Gandrau, Muna Finerat. Muna Gandrau, Muna Finerat.
Damn it.
Geralt, look! Look! Oh, gods! I shall be able to attend balls. I shall travel to Oxenfurt, to Novigrad even. Thank you, Witcher.
Ought to thank Guillaume. He's the one hired me to help you.
Yes, I'm grateful to him as well, immensely. Will you tell him so for me?
Should tell him yourself, don't you think?
Perhaps I should, but I would prefer not to. Convey my gratitude to him in my stead. Please, be so kind.
Sure, I'll tell him. Farewell, Vivian.
Let's go!
Come on. Giddy up. Go, go.
have sent the beast as punishment!
Never you worry. Oh, the air here is such that one is never hungry.
I ancient!
I pledge my love to win the tourney with your name on my lips.
But what if another night?
Geralt, what of Vivian?
Managed to lift her curse.
Truly? So all will be well. Her troubles are done?
Asked me to give you a message. Said she's grateful. Thanks to you, she can live a normal life.
Good, good. But how does she fare?
Method she chose worked. Thing is, she might only live for a few years more. 7 or so, most likely. Though I could be wrong.
You had better be. You failed me, Witcher. I placed my trust in you and...
It was Vivian's decision. Wanted to do it her way. Can't blame me for that. Got this bard friend, philosopher too, I guess, amateur. He'd say, if you love somebody, set them free.
Do you know what, Geralt? You earned your reward, so take it. But keep your advice to yourself. Adieu.
Welcome. It is right and fitting, Witcher, that the Duchessa summoned and you came.
A fruitful hunt to you, Witcher.
Golding! Welcome, Sir Geralt. I've heard tell of your accomplishments.
Need a bit of grooming. My time's up. So long.
Mading! Jeep Panthara!
Faster.
Sir, we received a shipment of wine. From the Bellegarde vineyard, I believe, with kind regards from Madame Matilda and Monsieur Liam. I had the barrels unloaded and stored in the cellar to the right of the entrance.
Thanks. Take a look when I have a moment.
Splendid. I was told to expect a subsequent delivery 5 days hence.
Starting to really like this place. Maybe we should keep going, refurbish some more. What do you think, BB?
As you wish, sir. Shall we see to the house or the grounds this time?
Been thinking about the outer walls. Maybe a fresh coat of paint or some patching.
Not only did the residents positively...
It's in your hands then. Make the place shine.
I shall get to work immediately. Within a day's passing, I shall have sent for the crew which rebuffed the Admiral's residence. They are the finest specialists around. Highly skilled at what they do, it shall not take them too long, I wager. 2 days after they begin, your eyes will behold your residence in its refurbished, rejuvenated, beautified state. Is there anything else you require, sir?
Feels like by investing a bit of coin, I could make the house more functional.
I agree. Yet I would urge you to hold off on further construction until the ongoing work is done. Juggling can be a challenging art. It's best not to undertake too much at once.
Starting to really like this place.
I agree.
Vineyard comes across as a place...
Baron?
He was...
No, he never... Sadly...
Shame that...
Not at all.
Thanks. Gotta get back to my business now. See you soon.
You know, Master... Maid Matilda. Something tells me it's not just the new vintage they'll be putting out soon.
I liked you from the start. Every Witcher I've known has been a swell lad.
Master Liam and Maid Matilda. Oh, I've a feeling they're the apples of each other's eyes.
Nothing says love.
A man who dare not down some red is a man whose wife is like to
You have proven the 5 chivalric virtues dwell in your heart.
Mean the sword's mine? I can dive in and take it?
The sword deserves the hand of a master. You must prove your skills are worthy through combat atop the water's surface. Are you ready?
Anytime.
Then draw your blade.
Not good.
You have proven worthy of wielding the blade, beyond all doubt.
Behold, your Arendite.
We've met before.
Certainly. The hermit admitted he knew you, remember?
The Lady of the Lake.
It is I. Forget not that you are a man right and honorable, devoted to doing good. And for these reasons you received the blade. Now bear it. And I trust this time you shall not lose it.
Just wonderful. Go, go.
Just as fair.
Come on now.
Eat, drink, and be merry. Thus take the profit.
Must not go to the magic about this too.
ages. Couldn't have picked some other place to meet. Agreed to meet a vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind. Though we did not meet, so I could prove how very original I am.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Dettlaff wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megoscope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims, found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
It's Dettlaff's hand, without a doubt. It will do splendidly.
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
You've heard of Kovinares' theory of tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell? Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at Kaer Morhen, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Covenarius never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How's it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Covenarius gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
Any chance we might see what Dettlaff was doing just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Dettlaff's hideout.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres. It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I in turn gave it to Dettlaff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Can't you just summon Dettlaff? You're both hired vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Dettlaff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place. But the very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Covenarius spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Dettlaff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant. Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned. Him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless, so perhaps you'd care for a snifter of mandrake.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
So, think you've set a nice little trap for me? Sorry. Want to get me to confess? Gonna... How about you get the ball rolling? Reveal one of your secrets. Vampires, intriguing creatures, must lead fascinating lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, at first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower. Once I could at last stand unassisted, I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now. Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well-founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
But were you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Got a new life, a new body. That give you a new start, blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
All addictions are a form of slavery. Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detlef recreating you out of a wet smear? Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
For a bit. but Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help. However, if one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent. There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a Witcher?
That's what interests you most? Whether I'd like to be a Witcher again?
Many things interest me, but we've not much time left. Please answer.
Never chose to be a Witcher. Fate chose for me. Had it been my choice, I'd have picked a different profession. A profession where I wouldn't have to risk my life every minute of every day. Maybe even one that'd earn me some respect.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment. Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Far as I know, none. Now what you got for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse, in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Now,
I don't recall much in particular.
Come on.
Sorry. What do you...
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate. It's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder. Or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial. Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
So, see you later.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus I hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Dressings, bandages.
What's that about?
The dressings, bandages. Where did I put them?
Forget it. Bandages won't do him any good.
What? Oh, but he breathed still a moment ago.
Mm-hmm. Breathed his last then. Bled to death. Legs broken, femoral arteries ruptured. Wound like that, you're dead in minutes.
Gods.
What happened here exactly?
I was rolling through, fully loaded, when I heard screams. This one crawled towards the road, then drooped to the ground, lost consciousness. I jumped down to help him, dress his wounds. Then you appeared.
Stand and step away from him.
What? Me? But what is your grief?
Don't make me say it again. That's good advice.
Will you tell me what it is you seek?
Needed to see if you were lying. You'd be covered in blood if you dealt those wounds. Just got it on your hands, though, so all's in order.
Who might you be, precisely?
A witcher.
Oh. Do you expect some beast might have killed him?
See what we have here. Legs broken, but cause of death's the wound. Small but deep, edges unfrayed. Either a thrust weapon or a thick claw. Maybe a wyvern's. Tough to say, and... breastplate's unusual. Dented. It's got a patina.
An antiquity, I believe. I deal in these things, so... what's puzzling is... why did he don it?
Not likely to learn that from him. Now to figure out where he came from. From that house, I'm assuming, but need to investigate. Got some work to do. So long.
Wait, I will come with you.
So be it. But stay close, keep it down, and don't touch a thing. Trail leads to the house on the hill.
Which stands silent as a grave.
Must have been here he broke his legs. Fell while climbing over the wall. Trying to leave the property, probably, after he didn't manage to open the gate. Damn it.
Good God!
What the hell's this? Setting for a banquet?
It seems so. What's your suspicion? Did none survive? Gods!
Silver tableware. Elven engravings. Servant. Stabbed to death. Over a dozen blows with a sharp object. Some post-mortem.
I cannot believe this is the work of a man. It was a monster, to be sure.
Torso punctured with great force. Blow pierced hardened steel. Man on the high road. Breastplate was identical. Throats massacred. One mighty blow. Shield along sides old and dented. Sword ceremonial. And Shea handiwork clearly. Ceremonial bowls. For little sacrifices.
Of what? Please, do not say humans.
Explode. Strong stench. Multiple wounds on the body. All puncture wounds, but hard to tell what caused them. Victim's human, but the attire's elven.
Are you certain? How did he come by it? We've so few non-humans in Tucson.
Fled, then dropped to the ground to douse the flames. Didn't manage. Burnt smells growing fainter. Might have been another luckier soul managed to flee. Well, it's scorched. Wriggled out of it, tossed it, then ran on.
Perhaps there's no one inside after...
I know you're in there. Breathing's loud and clear. Open up. We mean you no harm.
They remain there?
Listen, I'm a witcher. I'm here to help you. But if that's gonna happen, you gotta answer some questions first. Who are you exactly?
Durant Faucher Plamondon de Safaran, Lord of these lands, and Chairman of the Society of Friends of the History of Tucson. We meet here annually to mark the anniversary of the Elfin Homage. But something like this, why, it's a first.
You mentioned them. Who do you mean?
Those, I don't know what they were, spirits. It all occurred of a sudden. We were staging a scene, the death of paying homage. There was a flash of light that blinded me completely. I heard cries, though saw nothing, then felt my own robes were in flames. I broke and ran, threw off my doublet, leapt in here and shut and locked the door behind me. They pounded on the door. I thought they would get through. I thought I was done for, but in the end, it grew calm.
So while reenacting a scene from the past, somehow, unintentionally, you summoned a specter, a Korgorath, or a tube, maybe.
What? What now?
Best thing? You gotta do it again, of course.
Are you mad? Would you have this thing kill us?
No, don't want it to kill anyone. Precisely why I gotta do my job. Summon it again, whatever it is, and tend to it once and for all. Durand, think I can reenact the pledge? The giving of homage, alone?
It was a great, momentous event. The surrender of Tucson's last elfin king. You will need at least 3 individuals.
Damn it. Can't risk. Can't expose you to danger.
Master, if what you say is true, then I was the cause of this massacre. Unintentionally, yet nonetheless, I've a duty to assist you. A moral one.
Gods have us in their care. I shall help as well.
Let's get to work. Start by clearing the corpses. Got some time. Won't start the reenactment before nightfall. Things of this sort are a lot more likely to work after dusk. One last thing, though. My pay. Don't work for free, you know.
Understood. Just keep the danger at bay, and I shall be generous. Through and through. I will stand, or rather, sit in for King Ludovic, upon the elfin throne, while you, Witcher, will play the Enche ruler. We must don the costumes. All must be just right.
Divethaf, the elven king, hosted Ludovic in his own palace upon his own throne, amidst the blinding glow of a plethora of torches.
Don't interrupt.
Divethaf, laid at Ludovic's feet a loaf of Vino and elfin bread, thus granting humans rule over seed-yielding lands. Tibetha filled the ornate ceremonial bowls. At long last, the elfin king grasped his sword and shield, thus symbolically passing command of his army to humans. Elfin king, erect in his pride, drew his blade and dropped to his knees, thus acknowledging his final defeat. Ludovic then spake.
I accept your allegiance and shall return in 1 year's time to...
Ah! Look! Look! The statues!
Impossible! God's mother!
Show me what you got. Stand.
Pathetic.
not good. Pathetic.
The sculptures, they came alive. By what witchcraft?
Dunno. Specialize in killing monsters. Reviving them, not so much.
I may know what happened. The statues, you see, once stood in the palace of one Defethov. I acquired them a month past because perhaps I should start at the beginning. This Defethov was to pay tribute to humans, producing statues of this sort each year. Yet, he did so but once, for he perished in the massacre of non-humans at the foot of Mount Gorgon in the year 782. It's fortunate he did too, as Defethov had planned Ludovic's downfall, for he sculpted not statues, but columns that masqueraded as such. Columns activated with words said in homage. Columns that would have turned the king and his bodyguards into so much colorful confetti.
Typical. Treachery embodied. Elves. Psheh.
You're no better. Elves were just defending their territory. You humans took it, but you still weren't sated. Had to cut the elves down, every last one.
You? What does that mean? You're a man as we are.
Yeah, in a way. Just ashamed to have to admit it sometimes.
Your words? They're wrong, Witcher. But I'll not let you leave empty-handed. Take this. Reward.
Farewell.
What now, you piece of filth?